pal.
Hey, now it's still Rob from Kiss 106 and 103GBFRocks.com. I don't know if your last comment made the air or not, but
I can't see you, pal.
I am the Rob, and here is my tag team partner in podcasting, Jerry, the model, Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Good morning. I feel like it's time that you and I come clean. It is true. In June, Rob and I both slept with Carmella, and we've had an affair with Carmella, and
yes, that was July.
July, sure. Well, I started in June, and then I came to Evansville, and then we finished it up in July. It was a good time. We got there before Corey Graves, so that's good.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know how long Corey's lasted.
Man, that was a freaking crazy story over the weekend. His wife had just had enough and decided, let's blow him up publicly.
Yeah, I noticed that too. First of all, can you not see me?
I can't see you.
How?
I don't know. Oh, because it's post to post, and we always have a technical difficulty. I see you in a suit going like this.
Is there a button in the bottom right corner of your phone that would
let you... there are three. There's one that says 103 GBF, and then there's one that's just a picture of you going like this. Sometimes it'll pop up like in the middle every once in a while, but I can't see you.
Oh, well, I think the people can see me and you, and they can hear me all right. Yeah, that story is, if there's any problems, please someone let us know. That story it's kind of fun because, like, Carmella is...
fun for everybody but Corey.
Well, yeah, I would imagine probably so. I doubt Carmella likes it very much.
Sure.
I'm in the camp that thinks that Corey... I always get, like... People always give me crap for this opinion. Thanks, Steve. Steve said we're good. So I'm sorry you can't see me, but everyone else can. I feel like the only person who should be ashamed of themselves is Corey.
Because he's married and has children.
Corey's the one who made a commitment. Carmella, okay, while I'll admit it's a little slimy.
It's grimy. She knows he's a married man. I mean, it's two to tango. It's two. Takes two.
I mean, but like Carmella's like 1% and Corey is 99% to me.
Yeah, he's the scumbag in this. And wrestling fans did what wrestling fans do. And I mean, kudos to the WWE. Like, they didn't even blink. They didn't flinch. I was curious, how are they going to handle this? And then they just send Carmella out first. Fabulous. And then Corey Graves calls her match like he hasn't been poking around the pool.
Well, let's also, I don't know when this alleged affair happened, if ever.
He was sticking and picking. But I mean, like, the controversy's there. The WWE decided we're just going to act like we don't care what the optics are. Like, it doesn't matter. Most people won't know about this, maybe. And then every time Carmella got involved with something, they started chanting Corey Graves.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, they were chanting Corey Graves.
I did not notice. I feel ignorant. Thank you for pointing that out.
I feel like I hate to be the guy that's like, they turned it down. But I feel like they turned it down because, like, you could hear it, then you really couldn't hear it too well, but then you couldn't hear anything from the crowd for a little while. When Carmella and Naomi were getting their business going a couple times in the beginning of that match, the Corey Graves chants were loud and proud, and they were happening.
Is there a penis metaphor that you cannot just own? Like, it's amazing. Whatever it is that involves doing something with your penis, you've got a metaphor for it.
What I do?
You're like, he's poking around the bush or whatever. I don't even remember what you said, but if it involves using your genitalia, Jerry's got a way to joke around about it.
They were playing America's favorite family fun game, hide the sausage.
So, you know what I want to know? And I hope this comes out in a little bit. How did Mrs. Graves find out?
I don't know. Was it on the network?
I don't think it was on the network, but well, she's the one who blew it up, right?
Well, yeah, she
Okay.
posted all that business on Instagram and stuff. Took it down, but hey, listen, you put something on the internet, it's like sneezing into a bowl of ice cream. You can't get the sneeze back out. There's still going to be sneeze in there, even if you take off the top layer.
You are the king of metaphors, Jer.
It's true.
It's like sneezing into a bowl of ice cream.
You can't get it out. She posted it on the internet. Screenshots live forever.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And it almost seems like she was like a beloved family friend. Like, did you see she shared a video Carmella made wishing their daughter a happy birthday?
Sure. Yeah, I did see that.
Maybe it is a little slimy.
It's super slimy.
And it doesn't help that she also allegedly was the rebound for Cena.
Happy birthday, kids. I just got done playing Swallow the Swan with your dad.
I just got to let you, like, you're just like I don't even know what, you're like one of those wind up tops, and you wind them up and he just keeps on going.
It just keeps on going. But it's true. It's what she did. It's a grimy.
Well, and don't forget, that was all right after Cass.
It was after Cass, and was there time between Cass and Cena?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, she seems to have a type. Like, she seems to be, she's been passed around more times than Sunny in the back.
She's the locker room doorknob. Everybody gets a turn.
Everybody.
That's how everybody gets a turn.
My good, ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Valeri.
Hey. That's an old one. I can't take credit for the doorknob.
No, but you're still, I mean, you've had a different one every time. It's just, I'm impressed. I'm always impressed by you.
Corey Graves' wife is hot, too. I saw pictures of her.
I don't remember feeling one way or the other, but I'll take your word for it.
She's kind of hot.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm not surprised. So let's talk about last night's show, unless you still have more to say about the Graves.
Well, good. I wanted to talk about that's how they opened the show, and Carmella and Naomi come out there, and the Corey Graves chants, and that match was super slow to start and pretty boring there for a bit, but it picked up.
Not for me, pal.
It picked up a little bit.
I mean, I would not say that was a great great elimination chamber.
Way too long. It was like 48 minutes with intros.
No, I'm going to pass on that one.
So, I mean, it was okay. It was rough. I called it. You called it too, but I feel like I just always knew the minute they announced this thing that it was going to be Bayley and Sasha Banks.
It's so weird. I don't know why that is, but I was like that too. There was never another option for me.
Before they even had qualified for this, I was like, they're going to be the two. It's just going to be them. I'll tell you what annoyed me. I understand that they were trying to pull off like afterwards. They win the belts, and what's her face is going to interview the two of them, and they're trying to show how teary-eyed and heartfelt and emotional they are. But neither one of them had anything to say. And they were like, I don't have anything to say. And I'm looking at the TV, and I was like, cut a promo. Cut a promo. You're a professional wrestler. Cut a promo. You had 48 minutes to think of something to say. You knew you were going to win before you came out here.
Well, they're not allowed to shoot from the hip, pal.
Cut a promo.
Dude, I'm with you. There was nothing in that match that got me excited. Nothing.
No. Well, Mandy Rose.
I mean, she was there, but I mean, it's going to take more than that.
She looked good. I got a good laugh during their entrance. Their entrance made me laugh more than anything the rest of the night. And do you know why?
No, why?
Mandy Rose's entrance. You know how it goes. It gets all, blurry,
foggy,
except for, foggy. So like they're walking to the ring, and it's just Mandy Rose and just like a blurred out Sonya Deville. They just blurred her out. Like, we don't need her.
We're all trying to do it anyway at home.
Yeah, I'm not going to be assaulting any bratwurst to Sonya Deville.
Take that, Sonya.
Take that, Sonya.
I mean, I don't want you to cave. I feel like you're kind of walking back your praise of that match.
I thought it was fine. I liked it. I actually liked the stuff with Nia Jax and Tamina, just how they worked the match. It was slow. It was too long. I'm not going to walk back and say I didn't like it. It didn't bother me, and I think it's because it came early. It came early, and I was ready to watch wrestling. And I think if it had happened later in the night, I would have gotten tired.
Long and boring.
Long and boring. I would have felt the way about that as I probably did about the Braun Strowman thing.
All right, well, let's keep moving. Let's go to the next thing because we disagree a little bit on that one. Next, I've got the Usos defeating Miz and Shane via pinfall. Yeah. Hey,
Jimmy Uso, you want to beat up a cop? It doesn't matter. You're going to win, baby.
You know what, dude? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that I care. Do I need him to be further punished because of that? Like, honestly?
No, but I thought it was interesting. Like, it was a busy weekend for WWE.
So I'm curious as to where we go from here. We both kind of thought that the split was happening next month. We were off by a show. No big deal there. But it didn't seem. Did they plan anything for a split at all? I know they went back to Miz and McMahon later in the show.
They didn't plan a split per se. I don't like that they're booking this whole thing to make Shane look like a world beater and Miz to look like the chump. Like I don't understand that. Miz is a champion. Miz is good, and they're making him like the weak link of this team. And I think that's the dumbest thing ever. But that's what they're doing. I thought we were going to see Shane McMahon like turn on Miz when they were walking up the ramp, but he didn't. And then they went back, and Miz was just so upset. He was just trashing the place, and Shane sent him home.
Do you want to guess what I thought of this match?
Did you not like it? I didn't like it. Well, I like the Usos, and I like Miz, and I thought they all worked really hard around the Shane McMahon show.
That's what annoys me is everyone here. I'm not going to beat the dead horse, or maybe I will a little bit, but and that was not a reference to masturbation.
I'll beat a dead horse to Mandy Rose.
It's all like, can you imagine? You know how annoyed I get by the one coast to coast spot that happens literally every time we see Shane McMahon,
and then the elbow to the table.
Correct, but we got two back to back coast to coasts.
Coast to coast.
And an elbow through a table. And I'm just like, guys, you're killing me. I was enjoying the match up until it became the Shane McMahon show.
And then that's what they did. They made it the Shane McMahon show.
That's the best way. That's the most praise I can give it.
Those are cool. Those are cool spots, but it's like watching a video game.
Dude, you gotta space them out more, dude.
And when we space them out, we don't mean like from pay-per-view to pay-per-view. You're doing them every year, and every match he has, every single match.
Yeah,
I know every match.
These are spots that are not normally possible. They're all unbelievable, and you do them over and over and over again. And it kills me.
It's because when you take those two moves, because those are like his hip toss.
That's exact. Great comparison.
That's his clothesline. He's got that. He has the hip toss and the clothesline, which is the elbow and the coast to coast, and then he's got a bunch of bad looking punches, and that's it.
And it was exciting back in the day, but I mean, we all know when it jumped the shark. It jumped the shark the day he returned in 2016. And I believe it was the prelude to the Undertaker match, because when that one happened, that was just a gross, right. What's the word I'm looking for? Overabundance of garbage. I didn't need that one.
It was too much. What they did was they took the shark down the ringside, and they put the shark in between the table and the ring, and then he jumped from the ring post to the announce table. He literally jumped the shark while putting an elbow through the Undertaker.
Yes, he delivered a elbow drop to the shark, and I'm just so over it. So he elbowed
the shark, and that also is not a euphemism.
Look how many animals we've beaten up and not talking about touching ourselves.
I'm gonna give a leg. I'm gonna give a leg drop to a lamb.
Let's keep moving forward. Let's see. After that, Finn Bálor, as I predicted, went over Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush.
Sure, he did. He really, I mean, he went over Lio Rush. He didn't do any favors for Finn Bálor in this match.
Well, Finn won the Intercontinental Championship.
He won the Intercontinental Championship.
Bobby
he beat Lio Rush, and then Bobby Lashley looked strong. Bobby Lashley, I didn't understand it at the time. Later in the show, we get an explanation, but I was like, oh, they're going to take Bobby Lashley, and they're going to separate him from the one reason I think he's popular right now. Okay, his one heat magnet, he just spine busted. What are they thinking? Now, later, I see what they're thinking. But at the moment, when I watched it live, I was like, oh, that was a freaking dumb move. I think separating him from Lio Rush is stupid this early. I think Lio Rush does him more favors than not.
They're both doing each other favors.
Sure.
It's mutually beneficial, I feel like.
So that's the one you called. We disagreed on 3 matches.
Right. And so I'm up 1 at this point. And then let's see. Okay, well, we can spend some time on this one. Ronda Rousey over Ruby Riot via submission. It was not a long match. That was probably smart. Yeah, I mean, they just steamrolled through Ruby Riot, and that's what you'd expect. And the promo from Charlotte was good. It was a good promo. It was what you would expect. And then you get this, and then here she comes. Hobbling out on crutches. Worse for wear because she was beaten up at a house show this weekend. Becky Lynch. And I love it. I love it. It's being done very well. And by the way, I have been giving the show a fair amount of crap so far. I do want to say I really appreciated the things like this. Let me give you a few examples. Becky Lynch hobbling out was a story segment. Do you follow me what I'm saying there? Yeah. You had what's her face, Lacey Evans, come out doing nothing, but at least it was something, a story segment. You had it was enough for me to elbow drop a shark. There was cutting back to Miz and Shane. They were doing a bit more story than they usually do on pay-per-view, and that's an Attitude Era thing that I miss. I miss it too. I miss the promos that are cut on pay-per-views. They don't do that as much. And so when Charlotte did it, I was all excited about it. And then they do a little more story with Becky coming out. Yeah, I'm with you on all of those. Yeah. So this was, in my opinion, the highlight of the show. This is what I titled the show today. Just Becky Lynch continuing to look really strong, using those crutches to attack Charlotte and Ronda. And these are things that are going to be all over women's montages, WrestleMania montages from this point forward. I loved it. I loved that she went after Charlotte with such aggression. I mean, you could see those shots landing because of the marks they left. And Ronda just standing there, true to her character, letting it go on. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. Yeah, and I love it. So Ronda's just standing there, which, by the way, I approve of her Sonya Blade outfit, but that's whatever. Yeah. I thought she looked really tough in that, personally, better than the Roddy Piper outfit, but whatever. I agree. So she's just standing there allowing it. And then I was kind of like, are they going to shake hands? I kind of thought Rousey was going to pick up the crutch and give it back to Becky. And then Becky just fires off on Ronda. Loved it, pal. Loved it. I thought Ronda was going to fire off on Becky, and I much prefer this. Becky just takes off on Ronda. Now, Ronda had a hard time selling. It's like she wanted to just keep fighting through it, but she kept getting up and getting beat down. And those shots landed, and a couple by accident, because, I mean, her head was all bloody by the end of it, and Becky just left them both in a mess and then hobbled out. And then it was very reminiscent. You said it weeks ago, and I can't help but see the parallels now of her and Stone Cold kind of getting cuffed out and walked out like this with a big smile on her face. She was very Stone Cold Steve Austin last night. She has been with this whole angle, and that's the way we need to book her right now, especially considering who she's up against. And You know,
it's landing well with me, pal. It's landing really well.
Don't drive a beer truck. Don't drive a Zamboni, but book them. Like, I would almost call Vince Russo and just be like, damn, pal, what would you do with this? Because Russo wrote most of the Austin McMahon stuff, and he knows what he's doing. This is the way it should be booked.
The only thing I wanted to do the Stone Cold did was crush beers with her shirt off. I'd be great with that.
What would that make you do?
Oh, I'd go to a zoo, you see. I would just start. I would beat that whole zoo. I'd never stop.
She did look pretty good last. I don't know what she was wearing, but it was different.
Sexy. She was wearing sexy. She was looking good, and it was a great segment. It was well done. I love that they suspended her, but she keeps showing up.
Man, the site I'm reading, which is actually through CBS, it's they gave the women's title match, Ronda Rousey versus Ruby Riot, a D+, which whatever. But then they gave the post match, Becky Lynch loses her mind, a B. And I thought it was an A.
We're different wrestling fans, Rob. We just are. We're not. I feel like the people that run the websites, I feel like typically the people that do the podcasts, I feel like the people that really report on wrestling are just critical. They're just dickies. They're just dicky.
Well, I think
they just pick everything apart for. They refuse to see the good in any of it, which makes me crazy. And that's, the antithesis of what we do here, I think.
I don't know, looking at some of their other scores and someone who's read their site for a good bit of time now, I don't know that they're usually critical, and giving something a B isn't all that bad, but whatever. Let's keep going.
Dicks.
You got your win back, and we evened it up. Baron Corbin defeated.
The minute Drew McIntyre's music hit, I was like, I'm getting the win back. It's coming down to the main event.
And it was how you said it would happen.
Yeah, I was really happy that I kind of booked that. I didn't see Bobby Lashley coming out, but when he came out, I was like, oh, I really sewed this one up. Because there could have even been a moment where, Braun Strowman just gets the win, and then they kill him again. But when it was the three of them, I was like, this is it. I like that table spot.
Yeah,
the double table. That was very ECW, going through double tables, boom, boom. It's a story. Isn't this the story they were telling when everybody stopped watching Raw and then they promised us we weren't going to get that anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't this literally the story they were telling?
There's been no difference. I feel like they have not delivered on that promise.
No. Listen, if they were listening to the WWE Universe, then you would have titled this video something completely different, and I would have won the Lock of Destiny and not you, because that place was crazy last night.
Okay, I guess we can get into that. I think that's next. Yeah, Lacey Evans. Okay, so
did you ever once believe? Because they had me suckered.
I know you can't see me, but I'm being 100% honest when I tell you I did not. Not once. You didn't buy, even during the match at all. I saw Eric gave you some props because Eric was believing. I said that on the post-to-post Facebook wall. Mm-hmm. I have to be honest. I did not. Oh, they had me. When it came down to Kofi and Daniel Bryan, like, what do you guys think they're gonna have Kofi Kingston walk into WrestleMania as a champion? Yeah, I did. I can't believe that. Or at least Fastlane. I could see him going into Fastlane for sure. So you see 2 world title changes before WrestleMania. I saw. Well, what's the other one? Well, if you don't see him walking into WrestleMania with the belt and you see him winning last night, that means it'd have to get off of him at some point. I saw a feud with him and Daniel Bryan, and after last night, I would be shocked if they don't have other really super solid plans. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting to Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston. Well, that's the thing. It's like, it didn't have to be last night. It can still happen.
It could have been. It could have been last night, and then Daniel wins it back at Fastlane, and then we have an Iron Man match or some crap at WrestleMania. I mean, listen, might as well have an Iron Man match. It's already going to be 8 hours.
I feel like, okay, while it's not exactly apples to apples a comparison, I feel like giving Kofi the title last night would be a disservice and comparable to when they gave it to Jinder Mahal a little early.
You think it would have been hot shotting?
Yeah, let's just get him there. I'm not saying Kofi's not championship material. I'm just saying all he did was have a 50-minute match that he didn't win. Let's get him to be someone who can actually be a champion.
See, I loved it last night. I thought that Elimination Chamber match was a C+ until it was just those two, and then it was an A+. I give that
Look,
match
it was
2 different grades.
It was hot. Those false finishes had the crowd going. The crowd was on the edge of their seats.
Out of their minds. Corey Graves said it best when it was over. The air has been sucked out of the building. That crowd was disappointed.
Not only that, they gave Kofi a post-match, which goes along with that storyline. I know he didn't get a promo, but they spent a lot of. He was the last shot. You know what I mean?
He and the New Day, and they were bolstering him, and everyone was cheering for him. I feel like they're building. This is cool. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I love Kofi. I've had him on my show 3 different times. I am a fan of Kofi, and I'm not saying I don't want Kofi to be champion. I'm just saying, whether we believe it or not, last night was not the night to do it, in my opinion.
It might not have been, but wouldn't you have been happy? Like for me, it's like I'm not paid to book the WWE. I pay them to make me happy, and it would have made me happy if he'd won last night. I would have felt joy.
Look,
I would have felt joy.
If every time someone has an unexpectedly great performance, we gave them the world title, we'd have Mustafa Ali as a world champion. We'd have,
but that's not why I want Kofi Kingston to have this title.
Then why?
Because I think it's more than just.
It's funny.
A surprise performance. I think New Day could use it. I think that it would benefit them as a trio.
It's really funny. I haven't heard you talk about Kofi Kingston as champion ever until last week.
But it's never been viable, and now it is.
Why is that? Because he had one amazing. Look, if he would have just wrestled for 10
minutes.
No,
because they put him in the spot. They put him in the spot.
Right. Let's keep that. That's what I'm saying. Once. Let's keep it going and get him there. Just like with Jinder Mahal. They rocketed him up. Now he was a heel and no one was, cheering for him. I know that Kofi's, I think we can all probably agree, a little bit more talented, but it's the same thing. It's hot shotting, and I don't like that kind of booking. Let's just get him there. Let's get him there
then. Well, let's see if they get him there. I don't know what they're going to do.
Last week, before SmackDown, if you were watching on Monday night a week ago, and someone said, hey, within a week, Kofi Kingston's going to be heavyweight champion, you'd be like, what? Because it makes no sense.
I wouldn't have agreed with that because I thought Big E was going to be in the match.
That's what I'm saying is let's just get him there. I want him to get there. I just feel like we're doing everybody a disservice by not doing it the right way.
But watching last night, didn't you feel like he was there? He was there with the crowd. I mean, they were ready for him. And I think if he had won, the WWE Universe, whether they got him there or not, would have received it really well. You wouldn't hear people complaining about it today.
That's not always what the goal is, though. Sometimes the goal is to piss off the universe. And
they're doing it. Fickle.
Or Jer, let me just throw this one at you.
I hate the what chance, by the way. Oh, and he's encouraging it.
Let me just throw this one at you. Let's say this, and this could fall right into what I'm talking about, especially since Daniel Bryan has no clear opponent at WrestleMania. What if he has another great performance tomorrow on SmackDown?
And he might.
And what if he has another great performance and almost gets the job done at Fastlane? And then it all comes together at WrestleMania, and he has the performance of a lifetime, and actually with a whole building of 100,000 people chanting his name as he actually accomplishes the goal he's been trying to do for 12 years. For 12 years, can you imagine what that moment would be like if we actually get him there properly?
It still would have been fun as hell if he'd won last night. And you can't change my mind.
Get off my lawn, you millennial.
I'm not saying that you're wrong, and I'm not saying that what you just presented is a bad idea. I'm just saying I like my idea better because it makes me happy now.
Hey, by the way, the plan B is still Daniel Bryan as champ.
You're the millennial.
How?
I'm Gen X, bitch.
How am I millennial? You're the one booking all hot shotting and no, media. You got to have immediate gratification. Kofi's hot now. Give him the title now, damn it.
You're technically a millennial. What year were you born?
Yeah, I was born in 83. I know. I associate as a Gen Xer. I identify as that.
I'm a Gen Xer, but I associate as a curmudgeon.
So that's why, and what I just said about maybe this unfolding at WrestleMania, yeah, I got nothing against Kofi. I think he's fantastic. Let's do it. Let's do him a favor and do it properly, is all I'm saying.
I just want to see the feud with Daniel Bryan against the New Day. I think that the promos alone will be worth the price of admission. And then the matches, I mean, how do you look at that and say that won't be a match of the year candidate, those two going at it? He's shown, Daniel Bryan, in the last 2 weeks with Kofi Kingston, better matches than he and AJ Styles put on.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, I would have never guessed that. He and AJ Styles just don't have that in-ring chemistry. Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan do. I hope the WWE does something with it. But it's the WWE. Who knows? I mean, he could be fighting Roman Reigns on Tuesday. I don't know how it goes.
I also hope they do something with it. That's why I'm glad he didn't win the title yesterday.
But what if they don't? That's my fear, is the WWE will be like, and he got so close, but he didn't, and now back to the mid-card. Here's some pancakes.
Hey, listen, I'm not a fan of the pancakes.
I don't like the pancakes.
He's having a hot week. Don't get me wrong, pal. Not everyone who's got a hot week gets a title. I'm just saying.
It's a hot week.
Yeah, that's what it is. Right now.
I just want the WWE to listen. They're going to prove to me if they're listening on Tuesday. Because if they go forward with this, they're listening.
Okay.
But if they just move Kofi Kingston and the New Day back to some, like, against the Usos, they're not listening.
One point here. Okay, so that second part you said is more important than the first part, because what you're saying is there should never be a heel champ. If they're listening, the audience is always going to want the babyface to win.
I don't need him to be the champ. I don't even need him to be the champ. But I'm afraid that last night when he got pinned, that was the end of that.
It might be. We're going to find out.
And that's not listening.
Yes. Okay. So not capitalizing on this would be a better example of not listening.
Yeah.
That I can get behind.
See, it just takes a second, and we'll come around. We come around on each other. I just get annoyed, and I thought he was going to win, and I was excited. I was laying down watching it, and I was into it, but then by the end, I was on the edge of my seat.
Well, and it was even greater because the Lock of Destiny rode on these two people. It would have been some sort of push that I think you would have broken the tie because the other, your match went last, but it wound up being my choice and your choice.
I mean, it came right down to it, and they were the finals.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah, edge of my seat. You pay for the whole seat, but you only need the edge.
I read something interesting. So this isn't just me freestyling, but I read this, and it makes total sense. Who's the guy who had the panic attack? Is that Lars Sullivan?
Yes.
So his spot was what Eric Rowan is doing right now. Is what I read.
Oh.
And that makes a lot of sense.
He blew that completely.
Yeah, and it was supposed to lead to a Cena match at WrestleMania, from what I understand.
Blew it.
Yeah, isn't that a shame?
It is a shame. It's a shame he let that get in the way. I don't understand. I don't understand it. I don't understand how he would let that. He worked so hard to get to a point, and they say you're going to do it, and then he can't perform. I don't know. It's sad. It's a shame.
So I want to make one more point before I ask for your letter grade, and I know it's going to be way off from mine, and that's fine.
Sure.
I I was really thankful. It was off by like 3 hours and 19 minutes, I think. Yeah, it was short.
3.5 hours.
Yeah, it was less. It wasn't even 3.5 hours. I appreciated that.
Loved it. It was just a smidge longer than a Raw.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm sorry, I'm getting a weird message.
And that's not counting the kickoff show, which neither of us watched. I'm sure Buddy Murphy did a great job.
Yeah, I did watch that match, and it was fine. So I'm sorry, I was distracted for a second, but you have me now.
Okay.
So yeah, I was thankful of. So here's my things that I liked, my positives. I like the length of the show. If we can get under 3 hours, that'd be even better. I liked that it had a lot of storyline progression, which is one of my 3 tiers of a good pay-per-view. I like storyline progression, I like water cooler moments, and I like good wrestling.
Well, Becky gave you the water cooler.
I don't know that I'd call that water cooler, but storyline progression for sure.
Yeah.
And outside of that, I didn't love much of anything. So I don't mind giving you my grade, or if you want to go first. I have a grade. I don't even think I can. It's a definitive grade.
You have a definitive grade? I can go first. I had a least favorite match of the night. I had a favorite match of the night. I liked a lot of the stuff in between. The one match I was dreading the most was the women's tag chamber, and I enjoyed it. And I give this pay-per-view a B.
Okay, yeah, I kind of gave you my synopsis. I gave you all the good things. I thought that a lot of this, I don't need 2 elimination chambers in one night. You know, I don't know. I found the show to be boring, if you want me to be honest.
I thought the end of the chamber match was like match of the year stuff, but it couldn't be match of the year because the chamber stuff before it got to Daniel and Kofi, I was kind of bored by it. Randy Orton makes me bored again.
Yeah, I feel like I'm locked into a D+, if you want to be honest.
D+, wow.
Yeah,
brother.
But it's
there's
okay.
There's no talking you up, and I don't feel like being talked down because I did enjoy it. So yeah, I just say we agree to disagree on this one.
Yeah, I'm curious what the listeners of this or the view. I never know what to call someone who listens to this because I tend to listen more than view. But either way, I'm curious if you're more on Jerry's side. You gave it a straight B, right?
I call them dear friends, and it is a B.
Yeah, me too. I do have a personal relationship with a lot of them.
Yeah, and I've got to have lunch with some of them, and they're super fun.
I'm curious, do you think they're going to be on your side? Or I'm going to say they're probably on your side this time.
I think they're going to be on my side with the Kofi thing, and I think they're going to be on my side with the grade. I do.
I'm strictly on the letter grade thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, probably both. And I hope people are understanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying Kofi can't be.
I think they do.
So, all right, man, you ready to wrap things up?
What if they might split the difference with us and go in the C range, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I just can't. There's nothing I want to go back and rewatch from last night, and everything was long, and except for Ronda's match, and I don't know. I didn't love it. I give it a D+. You give it a B. That's fine. We can disagree.
If you go back and watch the opening match, turn the volume up and listen for those Corey Graves chants.
I'll try to find those. Hey, man, thanks for you shined again today. Thank you.
You bring it out in me. You're an inspiration.
Now I'm going to go find out why my mother-in-law thinks I'm dead.
What?
I have no idea. That's why I was distracted a few seconds ago.
Your mother-in-law thinks you're dead? Well,
yes.
Okay.
I have no idea why.
If my mother-in-law thought I was dead, I would just go with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Valeri.
It's just a suggestion.